The application I like to use is Cmder, and you can find it at cmder.net. And this is an application that's it's an emulator that's specific for Windows. Now, if you're on Mac or Linux, you don't need this, as the terminal already provides you with most of the capabilities that you'll find using this emulator. So yeah, you just come to cmder.net and then scroll to the bottom and just download the full version. From there, it should go to your downloads folder, and you can go there. Once the download is complete, you can just extract. Use 7-zip, but you should be able to just do extract all. Once the files are extracted, you should see this folder, Cmder, and it has all these files in there, including the bin, config, icons, opt, and vendor, and then a few other files. So what you want to do is you want to move this folder to somewhere that's a little bit more appropriate. I've created this dev folder in my C drive. Now, note, you can put this anywhere you please. You can put it in my documents, but I would not put it in my downloads. At least that's me. I prefer to keep things a little bit more organized. In my C drive, I have a dev folder. From there, I have a libs folder. I like to keep my libraries in there. So from there, you can copy the Cmder folder and put it in there. Just run the Cmder file, the application file. And now you have this nice clean setup of Cmder. From there, you can type your regular Linux commands. You can type git. The reason I choose to use this instead of like git bash, though you can use git bash, is because I have the option to Control T, and I can add another tab at the bottom, and this allows me to be able to bounce back and forth, because you might be working on the UI and you need to commit some code in the UI, and you also have your backend code there. So instead of flipping through screens, having tabs is nice. Another cool feature that you can do is you can right click and rename the tabs. So I'll just name this like UI, and then I'll rename the other tab like the backend. So it's pretty handy for navigation and also just speeding up your development time. So now we'll begin installing the Java JDK. JDK stands for Java Development Kit, and Java is licensed by Oracle, but it's open license, so you can use it without having any worries of Oracle coming for you. I'll put the download link below. So this is the official download link from Oracle, and we're installing JDK 8. So that's Java Development Kit version 8. So with this link, you come to whichever system you have. If you have Linux, Mac, or Windows, just click the appropriate download that you have. So for like a 32-bit or 64-bit, I have 64. So I'll click on that download link, and then I'll check that, and then I'll click download. So one thing to note is whenever you use the Oracle link, it requires you to have an Oracle account. So you can go ahead and create one if you want and download that. But I'll also attach this other link that you can use. So here you just come here and select version 8. Select your operating system. I have Windows, so I'll click Windows, and then the architecture, 64-bit, and then the Java package. One thing to know is there's the JDK and there's JRE. So the JRE, that's the Java Runtime Environment, and basically what that means is whenever you install that, you're able to run Java applications. But the JDK, that's Java Development Kit. So that allows you to actually, that's what you need, because that's what allows you to actually develop Java code or Java application. So you can download the zip, and in the meantime I'll also download the Mac and download that zip. Downloads are complete. So we'll start with the Windows and then Mac. I'll come back. Now the process is about the same, so you might want to follow along. So I'll go ahead and right click and extract, and I'm extracting the Windows one. Get this pop up and extract. Okay, so once that's done, open up that directory, and then there should be another folder in there, and then you can open that one too, till you see these files where you have your bin, your lib, and then you also have the JRE. So if you were to download the JRE, you'd have just gotten this JRE directory. The lib is the Java libraries that are used while developing Java code. So the next thing we want to do is move this to somewhere it should be, instead of it being in your downloads folder. So in your C drive, go to program files and create a Java directory. Now note, you can put this anywhere you please, but the appropriate location is in your C drive. I have this JDK there, so I won't touch it, but I'll go ahead and move this. So I'll drag the JDK folder. There you go. And I might want to rename this to something a little bit shorter. So it's OpenJDK 8 and it's version 2.6.2. So once you open that up, you kind of see I have the path. So program files, Java, OpenJDK, and I have all the folders and packages that I need in order to run Java. The next thing I want to do is open up the environment variables. So you search for environment, and you want to edit the system environment variables. Open that up, and that should give you a pop-up like this, and from there you click on environment variables, and then we want to edit the system variable names. This process is we're telling the computer that, hey, this is where Java is, and that kind of allows us to run the Java commands anywhere without actually being in the Java OpenJDK folder. So now I already have one here, but I'll show you how you would add this. So you'd click new, and then you'd put the variable name. Now note, you can name this however you want, but the standard is to name it Java Home. One thing about programming is you want to use names that actually mean whatever that's doing, something that's like readable. I can come here and I can read this and I can say, okay, that's Java Home. I don't want to come and name this Bob. Variable value, that will be the path of the JDK. So just come here, copy that, paste it there. So C, program files, Java, OpenJDK, and click OK. And I already have one, so I'm not going to add it again. And then the next thing you want to do is scroll down and search for a variable named path. Not path ext or any other path, just path, right? And then edit. And then in here, we want to point to the bin folder. Now this will be the Java commands that you would be running across your system. So you want to point to that. Initially, the variable we added, we pointed to the root directory, but now we want to point to the bin directory. So we'll go ahead and add that on here. I already have it on here, but this is how it needs to be added. So %, Java home, %, /bin, and then click OK. Then click OK. And then click OK. And now you are all set, and your system knows where to search for Java. So the next thing you want to do is open up Cmder, and if you're on Mac or Linux, just open up Terminal, which is where you will be working in, and then just type Java -version, and that will print out the Java version that you have installed on your system. Also, it will tell you about the runtime environment, and with that, you're all set to actually develop Java code. So the first thing you want to do is extract your download. So once you've extracted your downloads, you want to open up that folder, and then you open up that other folder. On the Mac one, you have like contents, and then you have home, and then you have your bin. So it's pretty much the same files, but the path is a little bit different. And this is kind of like following the standard path that's used on a Mac system, Mac operating system. So what you want to do is now you want to copy this JDK 1.8 into your root directory. So in order to configure Java for the Mac operating system, you will need to run the following steps in sequence. First, click on Go. This should be at the top menu. Click on Go, and that will bring drop down options that contains home. Click on home. From there, you can create a new folder and call it dev. Make sure it's in lowercase. From there, copy the extracted Java JDK folder into the dev directory. Once you've done that, you will open up your terminal. Once you've opened up the terminal application, run the following commands in sequence. First, cd with the tilde, and then enter. That will take you to the home directory. But from there, type nano space .zshrc. That will open up a file where you can enter your environment variable. After you've opened up the file, enter export java underscore home equals, and then the path to your Java JDK, and that will be, if you follow the same directory as I've described here, that will be tilde / dev / JDK, whatever that folder name is, and you can go into that dev directory and make sure that those names match up. But in this instance, I have JDK 1.8 underscore 262.jdk, and then in there I have the contents, and then from there I have home. From there, hit Control X, and that will allow you to exit, and it should bring up an option where you can just enter Y, that yes, you do want to exit and save that, and then hit enter, and you should be back in the command line in the terminal, and you can type ls, and you should be able to see the directories that are there. After that, type source.zshrc and enter. Once you've done that, your system should now know where your Java JDK is. Once that's done, you can type java-version, and you will be able to see now the version has been set. If that doesn't work, restart your terminal and type java-version. If you run into any problems, feel free to reach out to me.